Hello viewers, welcome to my video. In this video, I am going to read chapter 11th of Beehive English book of class 9th NCERT. So let's start. Chapter 11, If I Were You. Before you read, Gerard lives alone in a lonely cottage. An intruder who is a criminal enters his cottage. He intends to murder Gerard and take on his identity. Does he succeed? Scene: a small cottage interior. There is an entrance back right, which may be curtained. Another door to the left must be a practical door. The furniture is simple, consisting of a small table towards the left, a chair or two, and a divan rather upstairs on the right. On the table is a telephone. When the curtain rises, Gerard is standing by the table making a phone call. He is of medium height and wearing horn rimmed glasses. He is dressed in a loan suit and a great coat. His voice is cultured. Gerard: Well, tell him to phone up directly. I must know. Yes, I expect I will still be here, but you must not count on that. In about 10 minutes' time, righto, goodbye. He puts down the phone and goes to the divan on the left, where there is a travelling bag, and starts packing. Whilst he is thus engaged, another man, similar in build to Gerard, enters from the right silently, revolver in his hand. He is flashily dressed in an overcoat and a soft hat. He bumps accidentally against the table, and at the sound, Gerard turns quickly. Gerard, pleasantly. Why? This is a surprise, Mr. Intruder. I'm glad you are pleased to see me. I don't think you will be pleased for long. For those paws up. Put those paws up. Gerard. This is a very melodramatic, not very original, perhaps, but. Intruder. Trying to be calm and. Gerard. Nonchalant. Is your word, I think. Intruder. Thanks a lot. You will soon stop being smart. I will make you crawl. I want to know a few things. See? Gerard. Anything you like. I know all the answers, but before we begin, I should like to change my position. You may be comfortable, but I am not. Intruder. Sit down there and no funny business. Motions to a chair and sits himself on the divan by the bed. Now then, we will have a nice little talk about yourself. Gerard. At last, a sympathetic audience. I will tell you the story of my life. How, as a child, I was stolen by the gypsies, and why, at the age of 32, I find myself in my lonely as a cottage. How? Intruder. Keep it yourself and just answer my questions. You live here alone? Well, you do. Gerard. I am sorry. I thought you were telling me, not asking me. A question of inflection. Your voice is unfamiliar. Intruder. With emphasis. Do you live here alone? Gerard. And if I don't answer? Intruder. You have got enough sense not to want to get hurt. Gerard. I think good sense is shown more in the ability to avoid pain than there is the mere desire to do so. What do you think, Mr. Intruder? Never mind my name. I like yours better. Mr. Gerard, what are your Christian names? Gerard. Vincent Charles. Intruder. Do you run a car? Gerard. No. Intruder. That's a lie. You are not dealing with a fool. I am as smart as you and smarter. And I know you run a car. Better be careful, wise guy. Gerard. Are you American? Or is that merely a clever intimation? Intruder. Listen, this gun is no toy. I can hurt you without killing you and still get my answers. Gerard. Of course, if you put it like that, I will be glad to assist you. I do possess a car and it's in garage around the corner. Intruder. That's better. Do people often come out here? Gerard. Very rarely. Surprisingly few people take the trouble to visit me. There is a baker and a greengrocer, of course, and then there is a milkman. Quite charming, but no one so interesting as yourself. Intruder. I happen to know that you never see tradespeople. Gerard. You seem to have taken a considerable amount of trouble. Since you know so much about me, won't you say something about yourself? You have been so modest, intruder. I could tell you plenty. You think you are smart, but I am the top of the class round here. I have got brains and I use them. That's how I have got where I have. Gerard. And where precisely have you got? I didn't. It didn't require a great brain to break into my little cottage. Intruder. When you know why I have broken into your little cottage, you will be surprised. And it won't be pleasant surprise. Gerard. With you figuring so largely in it, that is understandable by the way. What particular line of crime do you embrace? Or aren't you a specialist? Intruder. My specialty is jewel robbery. Your car will do me a treat. It is certainly a dandy bus. Gerard. I am afraid jewels are few and far between in the wilds of Essex. Intruder. So are the cops. I can retire here nicely for a little while. Gerard. You mean to live with me? A trifle sudden, isn't it? You have not been invited. Intruder. You won't be here long, so I didn't trouble to ask. Gerard. What do you mean? Intruder. This is your big surprise. I'm going to kill you. Gerard. A little harsh, isn't it? Intruder. With heavy sarcasm. Yeah, I will be sorry to do that. I have taken a fancy to you. But it's just got to be done. Gerard. Why add murder to your other crimes? It's a grave step you are taking. Intruder. I'm not taking it for fun. I have been hunted long enough. I am wanted for murder already. And they can't hang me twice. Gerard. You are planning a gratuitous double, so to speak. Admitted you have nothing to lose, but what have you to gain? Intruder. I have got freedom to gain. As for myself, I am a poor hunted rat. As Vincent Charles Girard, I am free to go places and do nothing. I can eat well and sleep, and without having to be ready to beat it at the sight of a cop. Girard. In most melodramas, the villain is foolish enough to delay his killing long enough to be frustrated. You are much luckier. Intruder. I am okay. I have got a reason for everything. I am going to be Vincent Charles Girard. See, I have got to know what he talks like. Now I know. That suppose some stuff comes easy. This is Mr. V.C. Girard speaking. Pantomime of phoning in imitation cultured voice. And that's not all. He stands up. Get up a minute. Girard stands. Now take a look at me. Girard. You are not particularly decorative. Intruder. No, well, that goes for you too. I have got only to wear specs and it will be enough like you to get away with it. Girard. What about your clothes? They will let you down if you are not careful. Intruder. That will be alright. Yours will fit me fine. Girard. This is extremely interesting, but you seem to miss the point of my remark. I said you were luckier than most melodramatic villains. It was not a tribute to your intelligence. You won't kill me for a very good reason. Intruder. So that's what you think? Girard. You will let me know and thank God you didn't shoot sooner. Girard. Intruder. Come on, what's on your mind? Be quick. Better be quick. This conversation bores me. Gerard. Your idea is to elude the police by killing me and taking my identity. Intruder. Yes, I like the idea. Gerard. But are you sure it is going to help you? Intruder. Now listen here, I've got this all planned. I did a job in town. Things went wrong and I killed a cop. Since then I have done nothing but doze. Gerard. And this is where dosing has brought you. Intruder. It brought me to Aylesbury. That's where I saw you in the car. Two other people saw you and started to talk. I listened. It looks like you are a bit queer. Kind of mystery man. Gerard. A mystery which I propose to explain. Intruder. Disregarding it. Your phone, your orders, and sometimes you go away suddenly and come back just the same. Those are just the things I want to do. Hearing about you was one of my luckiest breaks. Gerard. Apparently, you haven't the intelligence to ask why I am invested in this cloak of mystery. Mystery. Intruder. Preparing to shoot. As I said before, this conversation bores me. Gerard. Don't be a fool. If you shoot, you will hang for sure. If not as yourself, then as Vincent Charles Gerard. Intruder. What is this? Gerard. This is your big surprise. I said you wouldn't kill me and I was right. Why do you think I am here today and gone tomorrow? Never see tradespeople. You say my habits would suit you. You are a crook. Do you think I am a Sunday school teacher? The game's up as far as I am concerned. Things went wrong with me. I said it with bullets and got away. Unfortunately, they got one of my men and found things the fool should have burnt. Tonight I am expecting trouble. My bag is packed, ready to clear off. There it is. Intruder. It's a bag alright and this is a gun alright. What is all this? Gerard. That's a disguise outfit, false muses and whatnot. Now do you believe me? Intruder. Mustingly. I don't know. Gerard. For God's sake, clear that muddled head of yours and let's go. Come with me in the car. I can use you. If you find it's a frame, you have got me in the car and you have still got your gun. Intruder. Maybe you're right. Gerard. Then those waste time. Goes and pick up hat and bag. Intruder. Careful boss, I'm watching you. Gerard. I have got a man posted on the main road. He will ring up if he sees the police. But I don't want to leave. Telephone bell rings. Come on, they are after us. Through here straight to the garage. Intruder. How do you know that you are telling me the truth? Gerard. Oh, don't be a fool. Look for yourself. Gerard opens the doors and steps away. Intruder leans forward to inspect, with his side towards the Gerard but the revolver ready. As he turns his head, Gerard gives him a push into the cupboard, knocking the revolver out of his hand. He slams the door and locks it, picks up the revolver and goes to the phone, where he stands with the gun pointed at the cupboard door. Intruder rattles the doors and shouts, "Let me out of here!" Gerard. Hello, yes, speaking. Sorry, I can't let you have the props in time for rehearsal. I have had a sport of bother. Quite amusing. I think I will put it in my next play. Listen, can you tell our friend the sergeant to come up here at once? You will probably find him in public bar. Drama by Douglas James. Thank you for watching this video guys. If you like it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.